and Motorsports proudly presents live exclusive coverage of the Maxx Race Cars 200 from Portland Speedway in Oregon. Well, it's been a Pacific Northwest kind of day. Showers, heavy overcast, and threat of rain in the forecast this evening. So let's get right to racing. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Joy. Welcome to the fifth of 20 races in this inaugural season of the SuperTruck Series by Craftsman. Tonight, everybody's eyes, including mine and Glenn Jarrett's, are skyward for the threat of rain. Glenn, what'll that do to the driver's preparation and plans to run this race?
Well, Mike, they're concerned. This is basically a one-groove racetrack, that being right along the bottom of the track. The air temperature today has been in the low 50s at the best. They're just not building up enough heat in the tires to make them stick anywhere except in the lower groove. The guys are really concerned about what they're going to do once they get into traffic. Nobody has ventured up onto the upper part of the racetrack. That's where they're going to have to pass. They don't know if the trucks will stick. It's going to be interesting to find out if they will.
It's going to be a slip-sliding kind of night, and hopefully not a slippery one. This is a Ford, Chevy, and Dodge full-size pickup truck series, and it's a Ford Chevy front row. Let's go down there to the starting grid. Here's Ralph Shaheen.
It's the Bowtie Chevrolet that is on the pole position, and for the fourth time in a row, it's Mike Skinner and his Good Wrench service-backed entry, owned, of course, by Richard Childress, that will pace the field to the green flag. Alongside, our front row looks exactly like it did at Tucson. Joe Ruttman and his Coca-Cola-backed Ford will be in the second spot. Now, Joe, this truck was a little off in practice, but here you are in the front row after qualifying. What's different about it?
Well, we're just trying to get Ernie pumped up. So that's, we just give her all she had and then some.
Well, now, we heard Ernie had a little bit of surgery yesterday or earlier today. Can you tell us what it is and how he's doing?
Well, I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but we know how tough Ernie is from the incidents before that he was involved in and how quickly he recovered, and we're just hoping him the best. We believe he'll be watching the event tonight, and we're going to try to do the best for him, and maybe he'll be up at Sears Point to watch the Cup Boys run.
Well, good luck, Joe. Keep her out of the bushes. Mike, what we've heard is that the surgery that Ernie had is nothing to be too concerned about. He's doing fine, and we should be seeing him real soon.
Yeah, he would say it's just a little dent and fender work. So Ernie is on the mend, hopes to be back to racing soon, and we wish him well. We'll be right back, live to Portland, Oregon.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Maxx Race Cars 200 on TNN is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Citgo, the sign of quality.
They fired the engines here at Portland and are on the first of the pace laps. Your Chevy starting grid is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Fourth straight pole for Mike Skinner in the Chevy. Joe Ruttman, sixth in the points in a Ford. Row 2, Ron Hornaday Jr. had the Phoenix pole. He's the point leader. Jack Sprague is fifth in the points there in Chevrolet. Row number 3, Toby Butler, 12th in the standings, and Bill Sedgwick, the point runner-up, a Ford and a Chevy. Row number 4, P.J. Jones in the Chevrolet, and Wayne Jacks out of Las Vegas. Row number 5 comes Bob Keselowski's Dodge, and Butch Miller, number 3-point man. Row number 6, Dennis Woolridge is in the seat for Stan Fox, who's at Indy, and Steve Portengay, the Tour champion. Sprint car ace Sammy Swindell, 10th in the point standings, and Jeff Bodine will start the truck qualifier. That's $1 by Dave Presenti. Bob Strait goes off 15th. He's in a Ford. So is Mike Bliss, who calls this track home. He lives 15 miles away. Row number 9, Scott Lagacy had to qualify his backup truck after crashing in practice while running fast laps, and 19-year-old John Kinder. Rick Corelli, 8th in the points, disappointing 19th position start. Pancho Carter out of Indy will start 20th. Walker Evans has his Dodge in 21st position, and John Nemechek 22nd in a Chevrolet. Kerry Teague in a Chevy starts 23rd. Jerry Churchill's Ford out of Detroit, 24th. Mike Hurlburt, local driver, former motocrosser in a Ford. Jerry Glanville spun on his qualifying lap. He will start 26th.
I wonder if Jerry had his sunglasses on. That's the reason he spun. He looks pretty cool in those.
I doubt it. I saw him earlier, didn't have them on. Had him embroidered on the back of his suit with that cowboy hat and glasses logo. There's Rick Corelli's truck. He'll be carrying an onboard camera as this race will carry 26 trucks over the 200-lap distance. There is a halftime break. The trucks will return to the pit for any necessary service or repairs. Toby Butler. This is one of his 2 home tracks, if you will. We'll go to his other one, Evergreen Speedway in Washington, next week. The Ortho Lawn Care Ford will carry these views out the front and back. next to Wayne Jacks there. And Rick Corelli, the Total Petroleum. Chevron Chevrolet. There you're looking over Rick's shoulder and out the windshield. As he pulls up on Scott Lagasse, there's a look out the right side of Corelli's machine at John Nemechek.
Mike, I'm a little surprised at Corelli's qualifying run. He had one of the quickest trucks in practice. I talked to him right before qualifying. He really thought he had a chance for the pole. Now he's got a lot of traffic to go through.
And a tough racetrack to do it on. The pace truck pulls off. As you look at Mike Skinner and Joe Ruttman on the front row. Wayne Butt of Maxx Race Car set to wave the green and go racing here in Portland under threatening skies for 200 laps. The pickup man get ready to go to work, and the green flag is down. Mike Skinner hauls it down to turn number 1 on this flat, aging surface, and out of turn 2 they come. Still 2x2, good clean start.
Absolutely, it didn't take very long for Ron Hornaday to move right up into second place. Going to be putting the heat on Skinner right away.
Hornaday in the pizza wagon, new spot for Papa John's Pizza. 600 some locations in 20 states.
As I said at the top of the show, the guys that started on the inside line have the advantage right now. It's tough to get a grip up in the outside. You see Toby Butler under Bill Sedgwick there. Sedgwick doing a good job of hanging on in that outside groove. He's one of the guys with the most experience at this racetrack. He's running that outside groove. He knows it's there, but it's not now.
You're in Toby Butler's truck as you watch Bill Sedgwick in 75 caught up on the outside, unable to get in line, and a move underneath T.J. Jones in that black and orange truck. Back to the front. Ron Hornaday had pulled down on Mike Skinner, but look at the power Skinner had coming off turn 2. He seems to have had a horsepower advantage this entire season.
Absolutely, and I think everybody in the field is giving up a little horsepower. When he came off of turn 2 that time, Mike, he got a tremendous bite and pulled Hornaday by a good 4 or 5 truck lengths.
Bill Lynn runs that team for Richard Childress. And Skinner confounded some of the skeptics who had seen him run back east and said, why? Well, 4 straight poles and a win. That's why. He's impressed Richard Childress, and I think he's impressed the viewers and the folks that have followed this series.
Look at Skinner, how they keep the truck right down on the bottom going in, and the truck will move up just a little bit in the center of the corner, then they turn it right back down to the bottom.
Battle for second for 16. Ron Hornaday Jr. on a Palmdale, California. And Joe Ruttman, the outside pole shooter in the Ford.
Ruttman got shuffled back a couple of positions from that outside starting position. Now he's back on the inside groove. The truck looks like it's really hooked up.
Packed house here in Portland, Oregon. Over 8,000 people. Every nook and cranny is filled with a race fan here. They're dressed warmly, but they're seeing some hot action. Close to the wall there is Jack Sprague.
Toby Butler really putting a lot of heat on it. We've got a spin down off of 4.
That'll be Steve Fortengay out of Reno, Nevada. You see Toby Butler waving to acknowledge the yellow. The Coffee Critic Chevrolet.
AC number 83, that is Fortengay. He didn't really hit anything. There was a tire right down there at the end of the wall. He spun down just front bit, but no damage to the truck. He did lose a lap. He's going to try to get it back right there. We'll have to see if Nascar lets him get away with that.
First caution of the evening here in Portland, Oregon. We're at lap 7 of 200 as the spotters and crew chief talk strategy. Getting ready to go back to green. As down on the inside is the now lap front of Steve Fortengay, number 83. Leaders work their way by. Skinner and Hornaday, the lap car in between.
You see a little smoke coming out of Fortengay's number 83 truck there, Mike, like he might have got a fender down on a tire there. He's going to create a problem for all these guys behind him right now. First of all, they're going to see that smoke, a lot of smoke coming off the right front. Indeed, that's what it is. He's rubbing a tire there. But all those guys are going to have to go to the outside line to get by him, and right now the outside groove is just not there.
I think where he picked up that tire rub was he was trying to get back up to the front for the restart. Busted to Toby Butler, who was rubbing his tires in turn 2. Let's check with Ralph. Trouble, turn 3, around goes P.J. Jones. And one truck is into him.
Wayne Jack. A couple more trucks slide through there. Kerry Teague and John Kinder. Teague goes sliding through the grass. Kinder gets by on the outside. Right now, doesn't look to be any serious damage to anybody.
Don't know if there was contact. Jones with a black mark on his left rear corner of the bumper. But there, down in the grass, is Pancho Carter.
I saw that Cherokee. That is Poncho Carter, and that's not where you want to see Poncho.
Second caution period of the evening.
Going to push him back out. Let's show you what happened here.
Yeah, that's later on after it happened.
Yeah, and Jones got that bump to the left rear corner of the bumper by one of the trucks going by after he had spun. That was not the cause of the incident. So there's Carter. He's out of the grass and underway. And brightly painted number 99.
For all you Cherokee fans back in Concord, North Carolina, I'm sorry that I told you Cherry spun. He did spun.
So they reset the field here at Portland. We've now completed 14 laps and have sustained 2 caution flags already. They've both been brief ones with no damage. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Portland. Mike Joy with Glenn Jarrett and Ralph Shaheen. We are under caution. A little bit of precipitation down on the racetrack. So we're going to run a couple of laps here. Let's check with Ralph.
Mike, if you see any of the trucks have handling problems when they come into turn 3, there's a quick fix for that. You've got to be a local to know this. Just about the entrance to turn 3, a lot of the drivers will dip a wheel off into the grass. In fact, there's a bit of a rut that is built up there from years of use of doing this. What that does is it helps kick the truck out a little bit, set it up better for the line, helps turn the truck in, because turn 4 is more of a decreasing radius turn, helps them get that truck set up for turn 4. That's a quick way around your Portland if you have a little trouble with the handling of your machine.
That's what my favorite chassis engineer would call a crutch. They help make the truck turn when it doesn't want to.
Back when I was racing, you drove off in the grass. That's what we called a mistake.
Sometimes here, it works.
Obviously it does, because they're using it. You saw that picture right there.
Look at how they're running after 16 laps. Take a second to hello to a fellow who truck fans are familiar with. Steve Millen owns a truck parts company out in Costa Mesa, California called Dillon, with a lot of dress up and performance items. He's also a IMSA racing champion. Badly injured in a race at Road Atlanta this last weekend. Want to say hi to him. Hope he's recovering well, as is Jeremy Dale and Rico Barboza, who were injured in a separate accident. Quite a wild one at Road Atlanta last week. They are all reported on the mend, and our best wishes go to them.
See the rain in the front of Toby Butler's windshield there. Toby running 4th right now. They say they're going to throw the green, but no green.
A little too damp out there. Wisely, Skinner takes off from the field so they don't get stacked up behind them, but we are staying under caution. The rain has picked up just a little bit. It's been threatening all day. We had a couple of drops during practice and then a little bit of a shower that kind of interrupted things this afternoon. A lot of rain last evening here in Portland. Here's Ralph.
Mike, the 58 truck has one of the wildest sponsorship schemes going I've ever heard of. He's got a radio station on his hood from Vegas. No sponsorship there, but the station is doing a promo that if you can come up with the wildest way of exposing their name, they'll give you 10 grand. He's figuring if he can go SuperTruck racing live on TNN, that's a pretty good way to expose a sponsor. Maybe he'll get 10 grand just for entry.
Maybe they'll give him another 10 grand if he leaves it on there the rest of the season.
I would hope at least that.
At least buy a few tires.
That'll get him through 2 races.
Wayne Jack. Rick Corelli. That worked. Turn 3 and 4 is where most of the dampness is. It's not raining on the folks down in turn 1 hardly at all. They are leaving the trucks on the track under caution, trying to keep heat in the racetrack so that this doesn't become a prolonged yellow flag situation.
Mike, looking at the skies around us, I'm looking back to my left here. I have no idea what direction that is, but
It's left. It's left.
good. I knew that much.
That's west.
Okay, thanks. Folks, I'm lost. But the point I was going to make is the sky's getting pretty clear back that way, so I think this is a short-term separation.
Let's check in the pit.
Well, Mike, this is Rich Burgess, who is the crew chief for Mike Skinner. Now, you're just talking with the NASCAR officials about the track conditions. What's Mike saying to you?
He said it's starting to get slick right now, but he'd like to try to get some laps in if he can, just hoping this rainstorm will blow by.
A bit of a hard compound we're running here this weekend in Portland. Difficult is it for you guys to build up the lead.
Their first couple laps, you know, it's a little difficult. You've got to be real careful, you know, you don't get loose and all, get on the throttle too hard. But once it gets some heat generated in the tires, they seem to be hooking up pretty good right now.
How about the shocks as well? I saw a lot of the crews bouncing up and down on the trucks before qualifying, trying to loosen those up as well.
Yeah, I think they're trying to build some heat up into shock oil, you know, try to get them to work. It's a real bumpy racetrack, so you need to get the shocks to work, you know. So it was good in practice, you know. We had to really change a lot of shocks and stuff to get the truck working since it's so bumpy.
We're going racing next time by. Mike Skinner called in. He said, hey, let's go. I want to race.
Yeah, there's nothing a race driver likes better than cold weather, hard tires, and wet pavement.
Well, oftentimes you hear the leader saying, oh, it's raining, we can't go. And the guy in second place is saying, it's dry, come on, come on. Let's get at it.
Particularly near the halfway point.
Mike Skinner has led every lap so far. Eight trucks in. Ron Hornaday in second. Joe Ruttman is third. Toby Butler fourth. Jack Sprague is fifth. Bill Sedgwick is in sixth place. And Bob Keselowski seventh. Butch Miller is eighth. Go back to green.
We saw Poncho Carter turn his truck a little sideways down there, restart, so it is a little wet down there.
Pretty dry up in 1 and 2.
Yeah, no problem there.
P.J. Jones has to come from the back of the pack and run up that last caution as we watch the leader. There's your front three. Chevy, Ford, Skinner, Hornaday, and Ruttman.
Followed not too far away by Toby Butler and another Ford, so 2 Chevy, 2 Fords in the top 4. There down in turns 3 and 4. He comes off the 4 real low. Truck looking real good.
Back to turn 3. 24 laps have been completed.
Taking a look at Poncho Carter there in the number 99. He is a lap down. He lost a lap when he spun up here in turn 4. You saw him go off in the grass. They had to push him off there.
Here's Bill Sedgwick coming up trying to make the move on Jack Sprague.
Those trucks, 31 is Sprague, 75 Sedgwick. They're running 5th and 6th right now. Sedgwick trying to move into that top 5.
Had the inside on him coming off turn number 4. Sedgwick did last time by. Let's see if he tries that move again. He does. Keeps the truck low. Just can't pull alongside.
I tell you, Sprague's truck is hooked up pretty good up in that upper groove coming off of turn 4. I've seen a lot of guys, but see how high Sprague goes in the corner there. He keeps doing that, Sedgwick will get under him. Sedgwick is a lot of laps around this racetrack, and he knows eventually that the truck will go away on Jack Sprague running in that upper groove.
Sedgwick very smooth. You might call him the West Coast answer to Terry Labonte. Very smooth, very calm racer. Second in the points, running 6th right now.
There you get a good look at Sedgwick on the screen. Truly one of the nicest guys in all of racing, not just on the West Coast. Tremendously nice guy.
West champion. Driving for the Spears organization. Now pulls right up. Now underneath Sprague once again. Nothing there.
Just about. I think he's going to be able to make the pass. He's got the thing sticking. You see him right against the grass on the bottom there. Sprague knows that he has the preferred line, and he just simply lets him go.
And the Motorsports Designs truck of Sprague drops to 6th. Sedgwick up to 5th place.
I'll tell you, it's been fun to watch the emergence of Sedgwick. He has been very, very consistent.
Sedgwick out of Acton, California. Dan Press is his crew chief. He's worked with Ron Hornaday. Here's a look at Jeff Bodine, who flew up from Sears Point.
Got no practice.
Nope, he's qualified 11th for the Winston Cup race Sunday. Came up here to run his truck. Dave Resendiz, former modified and Busch driver, is the crew chief and qualified it. And right behind him, P.J. Jones, who's fighting up from the back of the pack. And the Sears Diehard Chevrolet.
Down, moving down the backstretch into turn 3 there. P.J. making his way back to the front. Get a good look at the field there entering turn 1.
Unofficially, that battle's for 17th place. Look at this pack as they get underneath Gary Teague and Jim Rosenblum Chevy.
Gary got a little out of shape there in the middle of 1 and 2, and Bodine wasted no time sticking his nose right up under him. P.J. following suit.
All it takes.
tell you just don't realize how flat that turn is off of turn 4 till you walk out there on that racetrack and see how the trucks lean over. You can really get a good look at it there as they go into turn 1. This place is flat. Reminds me a lot of Martinsville, except the turns are longer or wider. Anyway, shorter. The straightaways are a little shorter. That's why the shorter ways being a little straighter.
The shortaways?
Yeah, that's what I started to say.
That's what I thought. Folks, the boys from North Carolina, don't hold it against us.
What can I say?
Here's Wayne Jack trying to make the move on PJ. He just got underneath Kerry T. And I love North Carolina, so keep those cards and letters.
I like calling North Carolina home.
A little bit of bump and run here.
Yeah, you can see how everybody right down on the bottom in that groove. You get a good look at the 24, the multicolored truck there of Scott Lagacy. As Mike said, had one of the quickest trucks. Put a little love tap on Bob Strait there, number 37. You see Jeff Bodine in the black and pink number 7 coming up right up under him. Won't be long till Jeff makes a move on these two guys.
Here's Lagacy. He's got a little room, and he's going to have to use a little bumper there.
Good battle going on right there. Scott bound the truck up just a little bit, getting off the corner. Allowed Strait to pull away.
Lagacy's got to be a little careful because there's Jeff Bodine breathing right down his tailgate. Here's Ralph.
Scott told me this truck has more horsepower than the one that is now sitting on the trailer, but it's the chassis setup that he's most concerned about. They can dial in the same chassis, but they've never run these two trucks back-to-back on the same racetrack, so they don't know if this truck will react to the same setup. Horsepower is not such a big factor here at Portland.
Boy, Jerry Glanville just took a block from, was it Rick Corelli?
Rick Corelli, yeah. Corelli was trying to get under me. He just about got to the corner. I don't even think Glanville knew he was there, but Corelli clobbered him pretty good. Fortunately, hitting flush on the side didn't put him out of shape.
Just a little bump and run. Turn to page 27 in your playbook. 37 laps complete. Mike Skinner's the leader. Ron Hornaday's in second as you ride with Rick Corelli. That's the Target Expediting 4 to Bob Strait right behind. In third is Joe Ruttman in fourth. Continues to ride Toby Butler. We'll be right back. Caution is out at lap 42 for a bump and spin at turn number 4. Let's show you what happened here.
See Dennis Woolridge there on the outside of the number 10. Rick Corelli in number 6 tries to get under him, simply ran out of room. Boy, Rick gave him a pretty good pop there, didn't he? Now watch Woolridge. He does a great job here, right in front of Scott Lagacy in the DuPont truck. Look at Woolridge. Locked it down, turned it around, kept right on going, lost 1, 2, 3, 4 positions is all he lost.
And the caution out at lap 43. Watch you base. Well, this has already happened here.
This is Corelli saying, "Whoops, I've hit you. Let me push you out of the way now, so nobody else does."
But Corelli was all the way down with the left wheels just about at the grass. Couldn't have gotten any lower on the racetrack.
Good evasive move down on the bottom down there by P.J. Jones in the number 1 truck.
And there's a look at the number 10 of Woolridge, Late Model Sportsman champion at El Cajon Speedway.
Slightly rearranged sheet metal on the left side there.
Slightly. All right, we're 45 laps in. We're getting a little bit of dampness coming down. Let's check with Ralph.
Doug Richards, the crew chief for Ron Hornaday. I hear things are not right with your suspension. What's up?
Well, it just happened all of a sudden there, and I think we might have had either a right rear shock broke or something happened to it. So we're going to try to, baby this Papa John's Pizza Chevrolet, hopefully to halfway so we can, take a look and see what's wrong.
So that means the truck is wallowing around on him?
Yeah, when he goes, there's some bad bumps going into one here, and it's really upsetting and trying to chatter the rear tires right now. So we're just going to have to try to baby it.
Bumpy racetrack and a wet surface. This is a good night to see how good of a driver Ron Hornaday is.
Wonder what kind of topping they'll put on it at halfway.
I had noticed that Hornaday had started to back up a little bit. Skinner had really started to put some distance on him, as you see the number 16 Papa John's truck.
Ralph, if we stay under caution, I'd like to know from Joe Ruttman's team if Ruttman felt that Hornaday was holding him up because they had kind of lost touch with leader Mike Skinner, and Ruttman was all over Hornaday at the time of the caution flag. Coming up on the 50-lap mark, Mike Skinner leads. Ron Hornaday, Joe Ruttman, Toby Butler, and Bill Sedgwick. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Maxx Race Cars 200 on TNN is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Green flag here at Portland for the restart. Mike Skinner checks out. You see the battles right behind him for second. Ron Hornaday in the Chevy trying to hold off Joe Ruttman's Ford as we hit the 50-lap mark here at Portland, Oregon. A little bit slippery coming off that corner.
Yeah, and that shock problem with Hornaday is really affecting his truck, more so coming off the corner than getting in. The truck really pushes out wide on the racetrack. That's the reason Ruttman's able to make that challenge down low.
Battle for second place, the Papa John's Pizza Chevy and the Coke Ford, owned by Mark Simo and Ernie Irvin.
Looks like Ruttman dropped back in the 84 truck there just a little bit to let Hornaday know, hey, I can catch you anytime. Give me a shot at it. Let me go.
Let's get the word from his pit. Ralph?
Well, Sammy Houston is his crew chief. Sammy, is he held up by Hornaday right now?
Yeah, I think Ron's got a shock or something broken. We're a little bit faster right now, and because of the weather and all, we'd like to get up to the front. See, we don't know if we're going to run a 100-lap race today or a 200-lap race, but we definitely need to get by him, and he's hurting us a little bit. But
where's his best chance to get him right now?
really need to get him coming off the corners. He's a tough place to pass here. Tight, not easy.
Hornaday in second. Ruttman is third. Hornaday's on the pole for tomorrow's NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Tour race at Sears Point. Here's Ruttman on the bottom. He's got the room this time.
Oh, he does. He made a nice move off the corner there, and that time Hornaday just rolled out of the throttle a little bit and let him go. Let's see if Ruttman's able to, he already started. You look at Ron's truck, kick way out to the wall there. See if Ruttman in the 84 truck can now make a move on Skinner. Skinner was able to put a lot of daylight between himself and the second place truck.
He's got a ways to go to catch Skinner, who was checked out by half a straightaway after the restart while these two battle for second. Here's the yellow Ortho truck of Toby Butler moving up, and P.J. Jones in the diehard Chevy. That truck was almost flat sideways down in turn one a lap ago. You see how rough the surface is here as he bounces around and into Rick Corelli. Hello.
Corelli giving us some great shots there so far. Yeah, PJ's truck looks to be a little bit loose getting off the corners, and it gives Corelli a chance to move up under him. Which I think PJ might have bumped Corelli a little bit when he got by him too, so that might have just been a little tap to say, hey guy, don't do that to me.
PJ said this afternoon his brother Page has been moved out of the Daniel Freeman Care Center and into a rehabilitation hospital just a couple of blocks from their home, and continues to improve. He is beginning to regain the use of his vocal cords and speech. And PJ says you couldn't print some of what comes out, he says, but he's definitely coming along.
I talked to their father, Parnelli Jones, when we were out in Saugus, California a couple weeks ago, and he said that progress is being made. It's slow, but yet it is being made. Look at Scott Lagacy there, got a little bit of rear end damage to the truck. Just saw Jeff Bodine go by him. Again, that is the backup truck for Scott. Kerry Teagan, the 51 behind him there, trying to make a move on Scott as well.
And now you're with Rick Corelli once again, the Total Petroleum Chevy, trying to gain some ground on P.J. Jones, but now as Jones gets held in the corner, you see that distance closes right up. Off turn 4. They're pulling up on Sammy Swindell in the channel lock Ford. Up front, lapping Jerry Churchill's Ford, Joe Ruttman has caught Mike Skinner.
Well, he wasted no time. We wondered if he would be able to. Ruttman is fast right now. I thought that Skinner was by far and away the fastest truck in the field, but it does appear that Hornaday was holding things up a little bit. Joe Ruttman is on the move.
Also back at 7th, Butch Miller giving fits to the 31 of Jack Sprague. Some good battles all the way around the racetrack here. Now Skinner, free of traffic, begins to step it out once again.
Boy, it looks like he got a wake-up call there. He looked in the mirror and saw it. Now we got a great battle. There's Hornaday still running third. Toby Butler in the yellow 21 truck. And Sedgwick in 75. That's third, fourth, and fifth. As they overlap Jerry Churchill. Boy, those trucks are running nose to tail.
And look at Sedgwick right there.
He's trying that outside groove. He's tried Butler a couple of times on the inside. Toby's truck working really well down low. Sedgwick's trying to see if he can already start that outside groove. Eventually, they're going to have to pass there.
There's Sedgwick. Butler, if he makes a move, is going to have an eye to the mirror as well. 62 laps are complete. At 100, they'll take a halfway break. There you see the white and blue Spears 75 of Sedgwick trying to work in that outside groove.
Yeah, and that's the way you do it, just little by little. You take it up a half a truck width at a time. You have to run through the corner several laps and get some rubber down in that groove. And you can put the left side tires there and move up another half a truck width.
Right, here's Butler on the inside. He's got the move on Hornaday. Ooh, that's close.
Good job by both guys there. Hornaday again rolls out of the throttle.
And
Cuts Sedgwick off. Won't let him by.
Hornaday was just able to get that truck back down and hold off Bill Sedgwick for the moment. And look at Butler run away from Hornaday in the backstretch.
Yeah, it looks like when Ron had to roll out of the throttle there, Toby was already back in and really pulled away from him.
One thing you note about the middle of the backstretch all the way through turn 4, there's no wall at this racetrack, just blackberry bushes. And now Hornaday has really dropped off the pace as Sedgwick goes by. There you see the wall continues halfway down the backstretch.
I think what
you're in the blackberries if you go off here, just like John Kinder.
Thank you, John. That was
Caution.
right on cue.
Caution flag.
That was very close.
Oh, that was awful. I'm glad you said that. That ought to cost you $1 right there.
You would have said it if I had.
Probably right. 66 laps are complete. This man, Mike Skinner, has led every one of them. And we'll be right back to Portland Speedway in Oregon after this. Portland Speedway was a dirt track until 1942 when they paved it, and as you can see, on many occasions, drivers have been off in the blackberries.
Oh, that's a 1960 Ford there. Car number 0, and he's looking for help.
56 Chevy down.
The guy with his hands on his hip there didn't look like he was going to give too much help.
No. Well, yes, they have been in the pucker bushes here.
Wonder why he was mad. The other guy was the one stuck in the bushes.
69 of 200 laps completed. Once, a car ended up on Union Avenue up there on the backstretch. Went off in the area of the drive-in movie screen and got up there. Ross Cusaw put a car up on Union Avenue. Don't know if he was able to drive it back in and onto the racetrack.
I bet he had to pay admission again.
Green flag, 69 laps complete. Boy, that 3 truck is a rocket on restarts.
We get a chance to see now if Ruttman can stay with him, though, Mike. You know, it's a clean restart. There's no lap traffic up there. And also Toby Butler, you see him go by. Sedgwick, front 4 trucks now are running nose to tail, so to speak.
There's 3 lap trucks, keeping Butch Miller and Jack Sprague at bay. So the front 5 have a breakaway situation here.
Hornaday being the 5th of those, and that caution was good for him. I'm sure he heated his tires up a little bit with that shock problem because the truck was really getting out of shape.
31 just moved the 10 truck, Dennis Woolridge, out of the way. That was Jack Sprague. He wanted to get up with the rest of those leaders before they got away.
Oh, wow, we got some great action there. Look at this.
Lap trucks. Yeah. Here, look at this pack coming.
Coming up there. Yeah.
Heavy traffic as Woolridge works his way around John Kinder. Here comes P.J. Jones, and 98 Butch Miller on the inside has lost a spot, and around goes Woolridge in turn 2.
Boy, ever since they and he keeps the truck going straight, he's okay. Got it off in the grass in the backstretch.
So we'll stay green. Legacy's off in turn 3. We'll stay green. We're going yellow.
Kerry Teague has spun going into turn 3.
Damage to the left front of Scott Legacy. He and Kerry Teague may have gotten together, and all of that was residual from the 10-truck Woolridge being sent sideways by somebody wanting to get by the lapped machine. What a mess Legacy's truck is as it comes down the front straightaway.
Kerry Teague's truck has stopped still. One of the push trucks there going to give him a little shove, get him going again. Look at the damage to Scott Legacy's truck. Ralph?
Scott Legacy and Kerry Teague got together coming down the back straightaway, and they just got hooked up and ran right into the back stretch here, and they could never get themselves separated. Now, Teague has got the truck started again. I believe he's going to drive it back around. He looks pretty hot at this point. They got together about turn 2, never separated, so they split off here in turn 3.
No bumper, no teeth, no toothsome grill in that number 24.
One thing they don't want to see is all that smoke. That probably means that it's gotten something into the radiator. That's a little steam escaping. That means that water's getting out somewhere. Not a good day for Scott Legacy. As we said earlier, he crashed his original truck he was going to run in practice. This is the backup truck. Now it's got looks like pretty serious damage done to the nose.
Legacy 7th in the points with 2 top 10s coming in. Of course, drives for Rick and Papa Joe Hendrick. Papa Joe's a 4-valve now. Got himself a quadruple bypass this week, and we know he's resting and recuperating, and we hope he's doing real well. Let's go to the pits.
This is Terry Allen, the crew chief for Kerry Teague. Now, Terry, did he say anything to you about what happened out there?
No, not really. He's not real happy with a couple cars out there, but running real well. Running real well. We were just waiting our time there and moving up. Not doing bad at all.
Terry, that'll cost you $1.
Yeah, he said cars.
Folks, what we do is every time somebody says car and they mean truck, we give $1 to the Snell Foundation that does helmet research. It makes racing safer for all of us. They're in St. James, New York. If you want to contribute, send along your donation. We collected a little bit today, and we'll be right back. TNN, the Northwest Network. Okay. Tonight we are. We're live from Portland, Oregon. For SuperTruck Racing, let's go to the pits.
Kerry Teague, we've caught up with him. Kerry, you and Scott Lagasse got together. What was your view from the cockpit?
Well, you know, we had a caution down there, and I'd already passed him. And going through the corner over there, he hooked my right rear, just turned me around. I guess you can chunk it race, call it racing. We've been running there together, and I'd bumped him a couple times trying to get by him. You know, he got caught up in that wreck, and he wasn't near as fast as we were. You know, you figure a fella let you go on after you tap him 2 or 3 times, but I guess he's seen he ought to hold his position, so I still tried to work and get around him, and I guess he thinks he done right by turning me around, but really don't make a whole lot of difference. They want us got all the money, and we don't, and we're still going to beat them cats.
Tough night for Kerry Teague. Had Bentweiser on the tailgate of his truck tonight and is sidelined at 78 laps. Mike Skinner has led every one of them in the Richard Childress Good Wrench Service number 3. Number 84, Joe Ruttman in the Coke machine, running in second.
You know, it's always fun to hear these guys tell what happened after a wreck, because we know that we're getting a totally unbiased opinion.
Let's go racing. 78 laps. Mike Skinner's going to haul him down for the restart. See if he can pull Ruttman, but Joe is right with him, within half a car length. Sneaks inside of Pancho Carter, and they had the low groove all to themselves. Toby Butler fights with Carter off of turn number 2, the lap truck, and Ruttman got a good start, as good as Skinner's this time.
Absolutely. He's got it nailed right to the back bumper. Oh, look at him move up there. His truck is really getting a bite as they start off of turn 4, but as they come off of it completely, that horsepower of Skinner takes over.
Toby Butler clears the lap truck, and so does Bill Sedgwick in 75. As we continue under green, let's go back to the pits for the other unbiased, or as they would say, the rest of the story.
Well, here's Scott Lagasse. Scott, what happened between you and Kerry Teague?
Well, I'm not sure if Kerry even knew we were there, but Kerry's, he hit us in the back a couple times. He's kind of rooting his way to the front, but I don't know. It was a tough day for this number 24 DuPont truck.
As you can see, Mike, the crew is working on the truck, and they're hoping to get him back out as quick as they can.
That's Jeff Bodine just ahead of Rick Corelli as you ride with Corelli. They try to get to the front. Those bright Musco lights shining on Portland Speedway as the sky darkens. There is Sammy Swindell, number 38, Brad Aiken, Bob Sutton, Channel Lock Ford, and Jeff Bodine coming in as they work their way underneath the number 10 of Dennis Woolridge, who is lapped, and Rick Corelli right with them.
Bodine trying to put a move on Swindell down low. Sammy's trying to keep that bottom groove. He knows that's where the fast way around the racetrack is.
When the Super Trucks were first built, they didn't have rear bumpers. They had just roll pans like many of the sport trucks you see on the street rather. I think now you can understand why these trucks have bumpers at both ends.
Mike, we're getting a good look at P.J. Jones there. I've counted up. He is back to 8th position after having to go to the rear after that spin that he had back there. So P.J. has really moved up. Got a little bit, looks like a decal hanging off the side of it where somebody rubbed it. I believe that's all it is. But
I think that was part of his fender. Was.
What's the key word? Wow, look at Steve Portengay there. And he tried the grass move, didn't work.
The Jersey bounce. Let's upset the whole suspension and watch it all slide. Yeah.
See how quickly they can get away. See PJ putting a little bit of pressure on Mike Bliss there. As you said, this Bliss hometown track. You see in Portengay there in the 83. He is a lap down. Truck is moving off around the racetrack awfully well right now. He's already right back up on the back bumper of PJ.
Portengay's run here and run well in Tour and Winston West competition a little bit.
Well, he's quick right now. I mean, he really wasted no time in moving right back up on the back of PJ's bumper. PJ got to be one of the quickest trucks on the track, having come through the field like he did all the way back to 8, trying to take 7th from Mike Bliss.
Side by side, right side of your screen, Jeff Bodine, Rick Corelli, as they move up on Sammy Swindell, and Corelli looks like he may complete the pass. Now that outside groove is worked in now.
Yeah, you see Bodine move back up when they start off the corner there. That's where the traction loses on the outside groove. They're going down the straightaway. Look at Corelli working that wheel. good action there, good viewpoint from the driver there.
Folks, part of working in that second groove is getting some rubber down to help the truck stick, but the rest is cleaning that groove off, because as you only run the bottom groove, any little sand or rubber debris or chunks off the tires go up to the next groove. So you have to work up there gradually and move that stuff out to the top of the racetrack and out of the way of the groove where you want to run. Now here comes Corelli up alongside Sammy Swindell. He's got Bodine pinned behind Swindell.
Yeah, you see some tape, looks like decal tape on the front of Corelli's truck. That may be a little distracting to him. He's looking right over that tape blowing in his face like that, but he's having a heck of a run with Jeff Bodine there. Starting off the corners, as he get down the straightaway, he moves out ahead of him. Now watch Bodine try to move back up under him as he goes through the corner. There he is, moves right up on the bottom. Good race between those two.
All these trucks are running for position. They're just not giving it up. You know, they're only now 9 laps from halfway, so you can kind of let it all hang out here because you know you're going to have fresh tires in 9 laps. Look at the marks, the scuff marks on the side of Bodine's truck. He and Corelli have been trading paint. This is fun. This is fun to watch, and it's got to be fun to be in there.
Drivers are having a great time. That's a lot of fun when you can let that guy, you know that guy's going to pull you down the chute. You know you're going to pull right back up under him in the corner like Jeff's doing right now. I think if Sammy Swindell and the channel lock truck right in front of him weren't there, that these two could settle this issue. But Sammy's running just fast enough to stay ahead of him.
Sammy's in 11th. This battle is for 12th. There are 16 cars on the lead lap. Trucks, that's a double.
Jeez. That's another for Mike.
Kimberly even wrote it down, 16 trucks on the lead lap. Look at this. Bodine got underneath Swindell, who slid up the racetrack. Jeff Bodine hit the button, passed them both. Spin front straightaway, Kinder. Caution.
There Kinder sits. Looks like the truck is stalled there. He got it refired. He didn't hit anything. He just made a nice slide down the front stretch there. I don't know if he had any help getting there.
I don't think so. Glenn, let's have another look at it.
No, he just crossed it up coming off the corner. Nobody touched him.
Locked it up and held it. Kept it off of those tires.
It's a good thing he's going to get fresh tires here soon because those aren't any good anymore.
Because he needs them.
Yeah. Those are flat.
You see how cold it is here tonight? Look at the grill on Kinder's truck. Most of them are taped up over more than half of the grill inlet area, trying to keep enough heat in the engine on what has now become an in the 40s degree evening.
Yeah, that's another problem that the guys are having with the racing surface, Mike. It's cool out there. The tires just don't stick as well when they're cold.
1 to go, and we'll go back to green to finish off these last few laps to halftime.
Only 6 more laps to go till halftime, and here comes Scott Lagacy, the number 24 truck. You saw him pulling back out on the racetrack. There's Portengay. Remember I said how fast he was? He's right back up on the inside. He's still only a lap down. He wants that lap back. He knows halftime's coming up.
Quick word from Ralph.
Mike Hurlbert's had his Ford in the pits all night long. Mike, he's having problems with an oil leak out of the valve cover area of his machine. And Walker Evans has had his Dodge in back here. He's having problems with the alternator. Plus, they rebuilt basically the whole front nose of his truck. But Scott Lagacy has re-entered the race.
Thanks, Ralph. Let's go back to green to finish this off. It'll be 4 laps when they come by to halftime.
Oh, great jump by Skinner. He blew Portengay away. Absolutely. So did Rutland.
And once again, it leaves Toby Butler in third to have to battle the lap truck to get anywhere near the leaders.
He might have a little trouble with Portengay. Portengay's pretty fast right now. There's the number 3 truck, Skinner, going into turn 3. Clear sailing ahead of him. I don't think Rutland's got anything for him.
3 to go. And we'll take a halftime break. They'll have roughly 10 minutes to put tires and make adjustments on these trucks in the back pit area here at Portland. A little bit of jostling back in the field, not much change of position. Mike Skinner now by himself as he's walked away by 3 car lengths.
Yeah, you could just see the nose. There you see Rutland coming by. Steve Portengay's giving him all he can handle right now. I don't know what Portengay did to get that truck moving like that, but it's quick right now. He would be a factor in the race were he not a lap down.
One more and we'll go caution.
How many times have we seen a guy just blister the field like Skinner has done so far in the race? They go in to make the changes and come back out and something happens to him and he's not a factor.
That's it. By trying to improve the truck, sometimes you can and go over the top and go the other way.
These guys are pretty good. They've got that truck set up really well right now. I can't imagine that they're going to change too much on it. Got a little loose there coming off the corner. You saw the truck wiggle just a shade.
Well, we did not go caution. We went lap 100. So on lap, they'll complete halfway and get the caution next time by at lap 101.
Right, lap 101. That way it's official. See the caution fly this time.
Skinner, the leader. Ruttman in second. Toby Butler is third. Bill Sedgwick is fourth. In fifth is Jack Sprague. As the caution waves for halftime, P.J. Jones has fought his way back up to sixth. Ron Hornaday is seventh. Butch Miller is eighth, and Mike Bliss is ninth. Bob Keselowski 10th. Jeff Bodine 11th. In 12th is Sammy Swindell, and 13th is Rick Corelli. That's the way they'll go to the pits to make repairs and adjustments. Mike Skinner has led every lap, but the battles have been furious behind him. We'll be right back after this. Here's the Auto Week in racing. Seven-time Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt saw his point lead disappear after a last lap spin at Talladega. The young driver has been shadowing Earnhardt all season. Number 24, Jeff Gordon, now moves alongside into a tie for the championship. Here's how the points look as they head for Sears Point, California, Sunday. Call the number on your screen now to get a year of Auto Week at the lowest price ever. Call now for Auto Week. This offer ends Monday. It's halftime. Here's Ralph.
Well, Mike Skinner's got a new piece of gum in. He's ready to go, and this truck has been a rocket tonight. What's the key? Is it the setup, the motor, what?
Well, I'll tell you, we worked on the truck real hard during practice on old tires. And, you know, the truck stayed tight the whole time, and she's running real good on old tires, and I think that's going to be the key, you know. Joe's real good, and, you know, the 21 truck's real good. We're going to leave this thing alone. If they get better and beat us, they just beat us. But right now, I'm real proud of these guys. They've done a real good job with this GM Goodwrench Service Chevrolet SuperTruck.
As you said, you don't want to outguess yourself. What kind of tires are you putting on it now? How many laps do you have on it?
We're putting about 3-lap scuffs on the truck. That's what we qualified on, and that's what we started. You know, we had to qualify on stickers. It's a NASCAR rule, and so we put 3 laps on a set, you know, before we qualified, so we could duplicate exactly the same scenario as what we had before. So we got exactly the same tires as what we started the race with, we hope.
The Goodwrench crew just about ready to turn them loose.
Boy, was that the voice of confidence.
If I were running like he is, I'd be confident too.
That's interesting. I've not heard of that. You put 3 laps on a set of tires, so it's just like the tires that came in from qualifying. Let's see how that works. Next Saturday, Buddy Baker and I will be up to the New England Chevy Dealers 250 at Loudon, New Hampshire. That's Busch Grand National Racing, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern, exclusively here on TNN, the Nashville Network. And a couple of items if you're going to be in New England. Wednesday is Hyde Tool Spirit Day in Southbridge, Mass. About half a dozen Busch drivers are going to be there to sign autographs and have souvenirs in Southbridge at the airport. And Thursday night, the Civil War of Softball. Busch North versus Busch South drivers at Concord Memorial Stadium to benefit Easter Seals autograph session as well. Game starts 7 p.m. That's this Thursday in Concord, New Hampshire. Ralph?
Well, the biggest problem for Joe Ruttman, I guess, Joe, is getting around Ron Hornaday. How tough was that for you?
Well, Ron obviously did want to give it up. I don't blame him, and that cost us a little bit on the tires to work on him as hard as we did. But I think we can, you know, if we just don't have to bruise the tires, that's a key in these long races like this. That if you, you know, you have to, hard to pass somebody, it abuses a tire, and then consequently, once you get the tire too hot, then the chassis goes away.
Well, Skinner's been a rocket all night long, especially on restarts. How do you go after him now? Where do you try to get him?
Well, if we had a large chain to hook onto him, but he might take me too fast. I don't know. He's hooked up real good, and I wish I had the magic touch. Ernie, if you were here, maybe you could help us a little bit. But I'm not sure. We're trying some little stuff, but we're so close. I hate to try anything too desperate.
Time will tell.
Takes a big chain to catch a big dog, and that's what Joe Ruttman's got to do in these next 100 laps. It is halftime, and we'll be right back to Portland Speedway in Portland, Oregon, live with you on the Nashville Network.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Maxx Race Cars 200 on TNN is brought to you by Pep Boys Automotive Super Center.
Halftime continues here at Portland Speedway. See the trucks being worked on. Let's go to Ralph down in the pit area.
Well, Mike, you know Maxx Race Cars is the sponsor of our race here tonight in Portland, and for the first time, the first official NASCAR licensed set of 5 Maxx Race Cars for the NASCAR SuperTruck Series are out and ready to go. Wayne Budd is the president of Maxx, of course. Now, how do you go about getting these?
Well, you can buy these at several retail outlets, and this is the type of package that they're available in, and your odds are 1 in 40 of finding these. This is a hot set of cars. As you can see from here tonight, the race is exciting, and Super Trucks are here to stay. This is an exciting national program.
Well, Mike, they're a great-looking set of cars, and we got trucks leaving the pit road now.
So we're about to get to it for these final 99 laps. There's Mike Skinner, the man who has led every one of them so far. Let's take you down through the field, show you where everybody is running. 17 trucks are on the lead lap. Skinner's Chevrolet, Ruttman's Ford, Toby Butler in a Ford, Bill Sedgwick, Jack Sprague, P.J. Jones, after that spins, fought his way back up to 6th. Ron Hornaday slipped to 7th. He challenged for the lead early. Butch Miller back in the 8th spot. 9th would be the 08. That's Mike Bliss. And 10th, Bob Keselowski. Here are the second 20 back through the 37 of Bob Strait. 16 trucks are on the lead lap. Jerry Churchill a lap down along with Pancho Carter and Walker Evans. Also 1 lap down. They're showing Mike Hurlburt and Jerry Glanville is 2 laps back. 4 laps down is Wooldridge. Lagacy lost 11 laps in the pits. Portengate 14 down, and Kerry Teague.
And I've got my own halftime rundown right now in the Snell Foundation Awards or charity. Mike Joy owes $3. Terry Allen owes $1. Glenn Jarrett and Ralph Shaheen owe nothing.
You have to talk more. Portland Speedway has quite a history, as we told you earlier. They had a big flood here back in the 40s. The grandstand floated a half a mile away, and they just dragged it back. Here's a look at some middle 50s action. Check out these coupes. And as you can see, the quality of the racing here hasn't changed much over the years.
Cars look the same, too.
Well, a little bit.
Those look like the ones I used to drive. Still do. That's like my personal car.
Homemade cars with homemade paint jobs and spectacular flips and spins with those straight axle
now,
front ends.
Look at all the stuff coming out of the trunk. That's a suitcase there.
Oh, come on.
What's he doing? I mean, look, it's luggage.
I think it is. Ralph?
Well, here's Ron Hornaday. Ron, wasn't a broken shock the problem?
I don't know. Doug Richard come back to me. It just made me look like we just put 2 softer shocks on. We overheated the oil. I was getting a lot of rear end hop getting into the corner. So, Papa John's come along, Beats has come along this race, and we're just going to do the best we can. We got 100 laps to do it. This is where it pays for. So,
sounds to me like we'll have to keep a camera on Ron Hornaday. He should be charging back through the field here in the second 100.
99 laps to go. That's a 2-year deal. That sponsorship, we're told, for the Teresa Earnhardt-owned truck. There is Skinner and Pancho Carter alongside in 99. Joe Ruttman, the Coke Machine. Toby Butler in the Exterminator.
Good job by Toby so far. He's running the top 4, top 3 all night.
Dennis Woolridge there on the inside, one of the lap trucks. Bill Sedgwick right up there, number 2 in points in truck 75.
And this guy, number 31, Jack Sprague, has run a tremendous race. One of the best I've ever seen him run since he started driving the Super Trucks. He's in 5th place right now. He has run a tremendous race so far. And like you said, P.J. Jones, the number 1 right behind him.
P.J. Jones going to do some color commentary on TNN at Nazareth for the Busch Grand National race. There's Ron Hornaday back there as well. Butch Miller, number 98. Mike Bliss right behind Miller. As we get set for the final 99 laps. Coming up next on TNN, Yesteryear, featuring Eddie Arnold and Lisa Stewart. Immediately following this evening's telecast on TNN.
I like
Lisa
that
Stewart
show.
Is a race fan.
Yeah, I like that show.
Yeah.
It's good.
Tune in tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern. And again Sunday at 3:30 p.m. and 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Truckin' USA. If you're a pickup truck fan, you got to tune in Ed Bruce. Right here as part of TNN Motorsports. There's Ron Hornaday, ready to go back to work. And tomorrow he starts on the pole down at Sears Point in the Fluidine Firebird for the Federalite Southwest Tour event. 1 leader, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been a competitive race, even though Mike Skinner's led every lap. 6 cautions for 29 out of the 100 laps. Now, some of that was due to rain. Those were not all due to problems with the competition. They fired the engines behind the GMC S-Series pace truck.
That's a good-looking little truck there. I like that.
That's fun.
Yeah, look at the nose on that thing. That's good looking. High off the ground too.
Way high. Maybe that's for going through the blackberry bushes. You know.
The way I drive, it's just for like going to the grocery store, man.
Portland Speedway used to be part of a drive-in theater complex. The screen was out there in the back straightaway near where the Winston Racing Series scoreboard is now. And you would park all around the Speedway and pit area to watch the movies. I wonder if they showed Redline 7000 on race nights.
You know, man, I went to a lot of drive-ins when I was growing up. I don't ever remember what was played.
Never watched the movie. That's why. Moving right along. 101 laps are on the board. Going to warm things up here for a couple of laps.
Taking a look out the front glass of Rick Corelli in the Total Petroleum Marshall Chevron Chevrolet. The High Plains drifter, Rick Corelli.
The Speedway and auxiliary lights from the Musco folks that lit Charlotte Motor Speedway and a lot of the nation's racetracks now.
These trucks look pretty neat. Trucks look pretty neat under the lights too. There's a nice little sparkle to them.
Yes, they do.
See Corelli running in 13th position right now. Things just haven't gone the way he has wanted them to so far this year.
Well, there they are at what, 12,000 watts per bulb. Lighting for the Maxx Race Cars 200 provided by Musco Global Lighting. They are the leader in Speedway lighting systems. You know, it's brighter right now than it was all afternoon. The skies were so gray.
Yeah, exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. Put them back, man. The job that they do with those lights, I come in here and I only see 2 light poles. I'm thinking, man, that's not going to do it, but it always does.
Let's see how local knowledge applies here. Toby Butler, who's running in 3rd, is a 5-time winner here. Practiced yesterday all day up at Evergreen Speedway in Washington, where these trucks go next week on TNN. We're holding under yellow for a lap. And then we'll get to green. There's still at least 1 truck back in the pit area. So they give 1 to go. It'll be the last of the courtesy laps. Mike Skinner has clinched the Vent Visor Award for leading the most laps tonight. He's been in front for every one of the 101 circuits of the 200-lap distance. There's Woolridge making his first SuperTruck start. Stan Fox, that number 10 truck's regular driver at Indianapolis for the 500. The festivities begin this weekend.
Everybody so far today just staring at the tailgate of Mike Skinner.
Now the starter has green in hand. We're set for the final 99 laps. Crowd comes to its feet. Skinner hauls him off turn 4. We are racing. Mike Skinner, Joe Ruttman off down to turn 1. Clean restart.
Again, Steve Portengate's truck running so well. Moved out ahead of Ruttman. He got a good clean start. Tives down in the corner. You see the black and white number 83 there. Ruttman moves up on his bumper, though. He wants him out of the way, and he'll have to move, being a lap truck.
Portengate 14 laps down after trouble early, separating the 2 leaders. Back to turn 1. Caught on the outside, that white truck there is 31, and that is Jack Sprague. Trying to get around Pancho Carter. Got caught up to the outside groove. Too wide, and a truck spins. It's Woolridge and P.J. Jones
again.
Oh, and the tailgate gets taken off P.J. Jones'
got
truck.
Clobbered. Yeah, he did right there. And I thought everybody had missed him.
Jerry Glanville, trailing the play, was the 2nd truck to get him.
You know, that looks mostly like cosmetic sheet metal damage, though. He's able to pull away.
Yes, but Glenn, the rear spoiler is attached to that tailgate piece, and without a rear spoiler, it's going to be very tough to make that truck handle.
Well, I think it probably will be. The truck will tend to get a little loose.
Where's Bruce Willis when you need him?
That says Die Hard. That says it all, doesn't it? You can rip me up. You can't make me quit.
tough break for PJ. That all started going into turn number 3 when Woolridge went around. So we'll show you the aftermath of it here. Caution out at lap 103. Now there's Sprague, who we were watching. Around goes Woolridge. Now PJ's okay right here.
He just keeps backing down the racetrack. Oh, that's where the worst of it came through. Once Jerry Churchill clobbers him, but really not a direct hit to the chassis. Most of it's just to the corner of the truck.
That's right, I'm corrected. Jerry Glanville missed him. He was not involved in the contact. Was the black truck, was that Bob Strait? We'll have a look. Somebody's got to have some damage on the right front from that one. Let's show you from Rick Corelli's in-car. Driving through the wreckage, maybe we'll get a better look here. Right behind Sammy Swindell, this is Corelli.
See him going down the backstretch into turn 3. Look at Corelli. Ooh, he gets into Swindell there. Swindell slows down. Now Corelli throws his hand up. See him move up to the upper side of the racetrack. Drove right through it cleanly.
Nice evasive action there. Toward midfield. It was not Bob Strait, the other truck involved. We'll try to get a number for you when we come back. They waved the green 1 lap ago. Jerry Churchill back out on the racetrack after that incident. Mike Skinner taking off. And Bob Keselowski was the other truck involved. He has damage to the right rear after getting into it with P.J. Jones, trying to miss the incident in turn 3. There's Toby Butler moving around the lap truck of Steve Portengay, number 83. And now Bill Sedgwick in 75 tries to move his way past Jack Sprague right behind.
And as Portengay comes by the flag stand, he's getting a real serious blue and yellow flag for passover. He's giving those guys a lot of trouble getting by. He being that far down in the race, he doesn't need to be racing those guys up front.
No, his truck is as fast as the leader, but he is 14 laps down.
Yeah, you got to show a little courtesy. Right now, he's got Jack Sprague on his bumper, and Jack wastes no time moving to the inside. And Steve does roll out the throttle and let it go.
Jerry Churchill very slow out of turn number 2. As the leaders move by, he'll be fast enough to make it back to the pits. 111 laps.
And look at Sprague there. As I said, he's driven a tremendous race. Still in the 5th position. Butch Miller has moved up now to 6th since P.J. Jones's exit, or to the P.J.'s exit to the rear of the field. Right. He's still coming back up again.
Jack Sprague in 31's found a real home in this series. He qualified 4th today. He is 5th in the point standings.
Jack's done an awfully good job. He used to run regularly in the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series. He lost his ride, spent a year or so away, but came back strong, looking real good in the truck.
Ron Hornaday working his way back up through. Took the restart in 13th position as he moves past Wayne Jacks. And Mike Bliss moving up. 7th place now. Ron Hornaday, so he is on the move back toward the front.
He's got a little bit of daylight to make up now, though, because he started back in the field having to work his way by the traffic. But I don't know. That truck looks to be, it definitely is looking better coming off the corners than it was earlier. So I think that it won't be too long till Ron's back up challenging, at least for that 6th position. As I said, Butch Miller holds 6th, but he is about a straightaway ahead of Ron right now.
Jerry Churchill has gone to the pits. Here's Ralph.
Mike, it's a handling problem for Churchill. Once he got it back up to speed, he realized it, brought it back in. The crew's going to work on it.
Thanks. 116 laps. P.J. Jones fighting his way back to the front of the field, and he and Keselowski trade a little paint again. As you watch Ron Hornaday trying to move back up and challenge for 6th place. Right behind him, Mike Bliss has the inside on Wayne Jacks. Makes the pass. Milwaukee, Oregon native. Got to go run a midget tomorrow night. Back east. Hornaday's got to go to Sears Point tomorrow. Ralph's got to go to Toledo to the ASA race.
Where do I have to go tomorrow? Oh, that's right. I'm going to the golf course.
You would. Yes, they are. P.J. Jones and Bob Keselowski get together.
Again. I thought they had enough of each other a while ago. Evidently, they didn't.
Well, the contact was after P.J.'s spin. It wasn't anything these two should be fighting about. They're just battling for position.
It's pretty close to judge how close you can get to P.J. because most of the back end's gone. You're running right up on his rear tires there. I think Bob nudges him a little bit.
I think he's trying to straighten out that quarter panel of P.J.'s.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
He took the big hammer to it then.
can see the damage to the right rear of Keselowski's Winnebago Dodge.
I'll tell you what, Keselowski has done a terrific job in this series over the past few weeks running that Dodge. He's got sponsorship with Winnebago, but he does a lot of this on his own, getting no help from Dodge.
He qualified 9th. He's 13th in the points, the former ARCA racer. Keselowski picks up a spot. We'll be back to Portland Speedway live after this. Race leaders in traffic. They've lapped past P.J. Jones. Mike Skinner comes off turn 4 to complete 125 laps. Joe Ruttman with him. About 4 car lengths back.
You know, Mike, I think Ruttman might have tied that chain to Skinner because he's not letting him get away. As they work through that traffic, Joe was right on his bumper. There you see Sedgwick in number 75.
I like this battle. There is Bill Sedgwick. Right behind him is Jack Sprague and Butch Miller. They have been that close for the last 10 laps.
Good battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th there, respectively.
Miller down to the inside, the Rebestis Ford Credit Ford. Now they have to go around the lap truck of Jerry Glanville, number 81.
And you see Bill Sedgwick moving up on the back deck of Toby Butler there in the yellow, number 21. Butler still holding down the 3rd position, getting a lot of heat from Sedgwick right now. Toby having a little trouble passing PJ with his wrecked truck.
Butler's truck doesn't look like it's coming off the corner as well as it was in the first 100 laps, Glenn.
No, it doesn't. I see a couple little wiggles there. It means he's having to work the wheel a little bit. Definitely, I don't think his handling is as good as it was.
So 4 or perhaps 5 trucks will battle for that spot. Here comes 83, though he is laps down. Steve Fortengate still runs pretty quick as we look at 98, Butch Miller moving in.
Butch Miller told me before the race that he thought that the guys would have to keep their tires under him. He likes his truck to be a little loose, but he says he wants to take care of the truck, not to abuse the tires. And he thought if that's the case, if tires were a problem, that the race would come to him. Thus far, that hasn't been the case, even though he is running 6th.
Miller is 5th in the points, has 2 straight top 5 finishes.
As does Bill Sedgwick in the 75 truck. I think Miller has a 4th and a 5th. Sedgwick has a 2nd and a 3rd in the last 2 races.
I'm sorry, Miller is 3rd in the points behind only Ron Hornaday and Bill Sedgwick.
Right, and he's only 5 points behind Sedgwick. He's only 5 points out of 2nd place.
Jack Sprague in the Motorsports Design Chevy. They're having a good run. They're still looking for a major sponsor for that truck.
You know, we keep applauding Sprague, but this is the kind of track that he has excelled on. He runs at Concord, North Carolina, back home, as I say. And this is the kind of racetrack that he runs on, so he feels right at home here.
Ron Hornaday and Mike Bliss pulling down on the series point leader in the Ultra Wheels Ford. Jim Smith's crew has had a busy day with that 08. Fired the truck up for practice, lost a rear main seal right away in a brand new engine. Had to go to the backup.
Yeah, the backup truck.
Yes.
Not the engine. And that's what these guys do. A lot of them have 2 trucks out here while they're on this West Coast swing. They keep 2 trucks. Rather than trying to change engines, which takes forever, they would miss most of practice. They just pull out the backup truck, set it up, fire it up, and away they go.
Let's go to Toby Butler's pit. Here's Ralph.
Hines is the crew chief for Toby. Dick, our TV crew is saying that it looks like maybe Toby is getting a little soft in the motor department. Is he having any problems?
Yeah, well, the motor, you said nothing about the motor. Basically, we got pretty loose the end of the last run, so we tightened it up, and it should take a little while before it comes in.
It will get better as the track goes on?
We hope so.
Toby you see him having to take a second turn of the wheel as he comes off the corner there, as the truck takes a set and makes a jump, and he's got to make it take a set again, and that's, I think, where he's losing a little bit of time.
Absolutely, Mike. What we're seeing right now, he is starting to pull away again from Sedgwick. As long as Toby has clear racetrack ahead of him and doesn't have to work traffic and can work a preferred groove, he has no problems. It's traffic that's giving him problems.
Mike Skinner just took a little bump there. He laps past Bob Keselowski. 135 laps complete. It is Mike Skinner who has led every one of them, but Joe Ruttman continues to run close. Mike Skinner continues to lead here in Portland, Oregon. Mike Joy with Glenn Jarrett, Ralph Shaheen, bringing you live coverage of the Nascar SuperTruck Series by Craftsman. Been a change in the top 5. Now you see Bill Sedgwick there with the 31 of Jack Sprague, and Butch Miller has passed both of those trucks. And gone up front a little further. There's a look at Butch Miller as he moves in on Sammy Swindell. Now, Swindell, we are told, is not on the lead lap. He is 1 lap down.
He's already gotten a lap down. You know, Mike, it's pretty amazing to me. Some of those guys that stayed in the lead lap for the whole first segment. Now we've only run, what, 40-some laps in this segment, and they're already getting laps. So some of the guys have really missed the setup for the second half. A bunch of them have hit it on the nose. The number 98 of Butch Miller is one of those.
And 2 of the trucks that have been lapped, P.J. Jones and Bob Keselowski and Jerry Churchill, make that 3 of them were involved in crashes in this second half, and that's taken them from the lead lap. Butch Miller trying to chase down Mike Skinner, Joe Ruttman, and Toby Butler, the front 3. As they have been most of the race. There's Bill Sedgwick, who is behind Butch Miller. He's the 5th place truck. Mike Bliss has moved up to 6th.
I believe Sedgwick missed it a little more, and Bliss and Butch Miller both hit the setup a little better.
Oh, a spin by Swindell. Watch it. Jack Sprague is through there. Now let's put Sprague in the 5th spot. Let me correct what I have in front of me here. Sprague is 5th, behind the 98 of Butch Miller. Sedgwick is 6th, Bliss is 7th, Hornaday is 8th, Corelli is 9th, and Jeff Bodine is 10th. Those are the trucks on the lead lap.
Yeah, and this will bunch them all up again on the restart. Let's take another look at what happened there coming off turn 4.
Left side of your screen.
And you see the truck just get out of shape. He got up in the loose stuff just a little bit, Sammy did. Spun it all the way around. Did a good job of getting the truck back down to watch Steve Portengate come. He goes through the mud a little bit, but he missed everything.
Give an attaboy to Jack Sprague for missing that one.
Yep. There you see Swindell's truck. While we got a minute, let's take this time to notify fans that this coming Wednesday night, May 10th, the TNN's Music City Tonight will be hosted by Darrell Waltrip and Katie Haas. The guests are going to have on there will be the Busch Grand National points leader, Johnny Benson Jr., and Ron Hornaday Jr. will be on there. Singing guests T. Graham Brown and Eddie Rabbit.
So it's Racing City tonight.
Absolutely.
And tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern and Sunday at 10:30 and 6:30. Catch up on all the latest drag racing news. Steve Evans, Dave McClellan, and Bob Fry bring you NHRA Today here on TNN. 53 laps to go here at Portland. Under the bright lights, here are the trucks on the lead lap. Skinner, Ruttman, Butler, Miller, and Sprague, the top 5. Then Sedgwick, Bliss, Hornaday, Corelli, and Bodine, the top 10.
You know, the front 3 haven't changed too much. In fact, haven't changed at all. But, boy, after 3rd position, things have really been shuffled around. And this gives Butch Miller a chance to close up on the rear deck of Toby Butler in 3rd to see if Butch has got anything for him. Truck looks to be really working well. Toby's truck just a little bit tight, so they were hoping it would loosen up. It should be doing so now. We're about halfway through the 2nd segment.
Walker Evans rolls into the pits in the Barbary Coast Dodge. Here's Ralph.
Talked to Sammy Houston, who is the crew chief for Joe Ruttman, and right now they're planning on just conserving their truck and their tires and so forth. They do plan on charging here in about another 20 laps. With about 30 laps left to go, we should see Joe Ruttman really pick up the pace and throw everything he has left at Mike Skinner.
Thanks, Ralph. Get well Ernie Irvin on the back of that truck of Joe Ruttman. So, what's playing at the drive-in? There's the big screen that sat off the back stretch. Look at those cut-downs or super modifieds. And how's that for a race car hauler? That's Aero style. Yeah. 50s, I would guess. That's the early 50s here.
Yeah, looks to be.
Friday night, you come to the drive-in. Saturday nights, come watch the stock car.
Are these guys racing or are they watching the movie?
You know, nobody watches the movie.
That's what used to be the movie up there, where those people are.
Well, no, that's where the base of the screen was, right there just above the wall. Just in front of the blackberry bushes. Let's get back to racing with 51 laps to go. Mike Skinner trying to hold off Joe Ruttman's Ford and deny Ruttman his first series victory. The Ford of Toby Butler and that of Butch Miller. But for that Chevy, it's 3 Fords right behind. Slow on the restart is John Kinder. They bunch up behind him. The inside lane was not the place to be.
Field stretches out, going down the back stretch a little bit there. There you see Poncho Carter in 99, Jeff Bodine, number 7. You saw Corelli hung out there on the outside. The number 6 truck on the outside of Poncho trying to move around the lap truck. Corelli still in the lead lap, but not running like he wants to. Good view of how flat this racing surface is. You don't see much there. Ooh.
Whoa, wow. Good look at how loose was Portengate. Well, you saw it here first, just as Rick Corelli did.
And he gets going. so there will not be a caution.
We stay green at lap 152.
Every time we look through Corelli's front glass, he makes contact with somebody.
Yeah, let's see this again. And he has the camera for every one of our TNN truck races.
All right. Oh, he got down on the grass. He's already out of shape before Rick even got there.
Yeah,
In fact, Rick did a good job of not plowing him.
So did Pancho Carter, just missed him. Yeah, he was down there using the Ralph Shaheen line that Ralph told us about earlier.
We'll teach him to pay attention to what we say.
You're back riding with Rick Corelli. Nobody in front of him for the foreseeable future.
Corelli told me before the race he likes to set his truck up loose so it'll turn. Evidently, it's a little bit too loose.
Bill Sedgwick has now caught Jack Sprague once again, but Mike Bliss has caught him. That Ultra Wheel 08 of Bliss. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th we're watching here. Bliss has won here on this track in midgets and super modifieds.
You see 31, the red-white truck of Jack Sprague. He's in 5th. 75, Sedgwick is 6th. 08 is the pinkish purple and white truck. That's Mike Bliss. And Hornaday right behind him.
Let's check with Ralph on Mike Bliss.
Mike, this motor inside of Mike Bliss's truck has got a lot of miles on it. It's completed races at Phoenix, Tucson, Bakersfield. It's tested here at Portland, and it tested at Monroe. This is a tried and true motor, not like the one that only turned a lap here in practice.
Hey, trucks run a long time, you know.
Yeah.
100, 200,000 miles.
Not unusual. Whoa,
How's your
Sedgwick
pickup
was
truck?
way high that time, allowed Hornaday to get under it. Now, we've never seen these two guys battle. Look at that. Look at contact there between Bill Sedgwick and Ron Hornaday.
May not be over yet. Ron has the bottom.
Yeah, Bill's truck looks to be pushing up a little bit. Hornaday made no bones about moving right in under him. Bill's truck just not working like it was in the first half. Looks like it's got a little push in it right now. Hornaday slowly but surely.
Yeah, either a little more power or a little more gear or a little better bite.
Yeah. You have to be real careful on this flat surface when you accelerate. Ooh, good movement there. Looked like the Dale Earnhardt move. They pass you on the inside, you come right back under him.
That looked just like what Sedgwick was trying, and it almost worked.
What I was going to say, you have to be careful coming off these flat corners here, not to accelerate too much, because the wheels will spin, get the truck out of shape, then you're in big trouble.
So Hornaday makes the pass on Bill Sedgwick. There's your leader.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Maxx Race Cards 200 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
The fastest thing on the racetrack right now is the truck of Butch Miller. Here's how he got to third place, or fourth place rather, and is running down the leaders to third place underneath Toby Butler.
This is the move that he made on Butler. They had run neck and neck for 2 or 3 laps. This is going into turn 3. Saw Toby get a little high there. Butch wasted no time. Butch's truck really working well down low. You see Toby get a little bit out of shape.
The Coopersville, Michigan native now living on the north coast of the U.S., Vermilion, Ohio.
And that Michigan native is only about 2.5 seconds behind race leader Mike Skinner. Remember, Butch was 7th at the break. Now he's already up to 3rd and closing in on the leaders.
Even if we continue under green, we don't. Caution, turn 2. It was Bill Sedgwick who got around and stopped in turn 2 and has brought out the caution. He cut the truck righted and kept going. But it puts us under yellow and puts Butch Miller right where he wants to be, right up with the 2 leaders.
I got to feel like the Sedgwick does have some kind of problem, because he hardly ever gets a vehicle out of shape, much less spin one around or have any kind of problems. And the truck just hasn't worked the same way that it did in the first half of the race.
No, that's how we talk. Some of the trucks, as well as you run, you want to try to run a little better, and sometimes if you make a change, sometimes you get over the top with it. There's the Joe Nemechek in 87, or John Nemechek, rather. Let's go to the pits.
Glenn, you're right about Bill Sedgwick. They guessed wrong on the truck at the halfway point. It had been tight early on. They made it too loose. They heated up the right rear, and he's been battling that all night long. This is Gary Showalter, the crew chief for Butch Miller. Now, it looks like you guys guessed exactly right. Do you have enough left, though, as we get close to about 30 laps to go?
Well, Butch says we're going to make a run at him with about 25 to go. He said things are going pretty good, so we're going to hope the lap traffic's out of the way.
Traffic has been a big problem. How are the drivers getting around him? Are they trying to get inside, outside? Are they trying to wave him over?
Well, Butch says that he's just picking them wherever he can get them. That's nobody knows where they're going.
I hope somebody knows.
I hope he does.
Butch certainly does. He told me what he tried to do was to pick a point on the racetrack, just like Gary said there, to try to pick them up and get the truck off the corner, set the guy up coming off the corner so you can get him there.
One to go.
NASCAR has confirmed what we knew, that Butch Miller is the fastest truck on the racetrack. He's really making time. This caution good for him and put him right up on the back bumper of Joe Ruttman.
Well, can Mike Skinner hold him off, Ralph?
Let's find out. Rich Burgess, they're all mounting a challenge. Can Mike hold him off?
Right now, we're just trying to take care of the tires, you know, so it's going to be interesting. Only 30 to go, so it's going to be a good race.
So you got something left for him?
We hope so. You hope we can get that GM Goodwrench truck in the victory lane.
30 laps will tell the story.
May not take that long. Let's see if Butch Miller can do what Joe Ruttman has been unable to. Put the pass on Mike Skinner. 30 laps to go.
Thus far tonight, nobody has been able to pass Mike Skinner. And I'm sitting there wondering right now if we've had a race all year where a guy led from wire to wire.
Well, the key will be if all three of them can clear the lap trucks right here on this restart. Walker Evans stays down to the inside, lets the leaders race. Now Skinner, look at it. He got a whole shot on the field. Who's in that truck? John Forrest?
Looked like a drag car. Looked like a rocket ship.
Butch Miller got a decent restart. Toby Butler a little further back.
Jack Sprague in the 31 behind him.
Yeah, I think fourth place will be at stake before this is over as well.
Toby got a little bit of a bite there as he pulled up off the corner. You see Ruttman leading Butch Miller down the backstretch into turn 3. Butch really making up the ground off the corners. That's where his truck's really hooked up. You can see him pull right up on the rear of Ruttman as they come off the corner.
Well, that looks like a good plan if it is their plan. Because as you said earlier on, it's so tough to pass getting into the corner here. You really need to be strong coming out.
That's what you got to do. You got to set the guy up fast coming off the corner. But I tell you, those front two trucks, you're not going to take anything away from Ruttman. He's driven a tremendous race along with Mike Skinner. Skinner hasn't really been challenged. But Ruttman hadn't been challenged too much for second place either.
A little further back, Jack Sprague, Mike Bliss, Ron Hornaday continue their own private battle. That's 5th, 6th, and 7th. And add Rick Corelli right in there. Corelli's come up to 8th place.
Look at Hornaday pull up on the back end of Bliss. I thought he was going to nail him there. Corelli obviously made some adjustments to his truck. It's running much better than this half. Looks more like the Rick Corelli that we have come to know.
Joe Groen and crew massaged that truck up to 8th place. Nose-to-tail battle here. 25 to go. Last time by.
And look at Corelli trying a little bit higher line than what Hornaday, Bliss, and Jack Sprague are doing right now. You see Hornaday's truck move out against the wall. Corelli was already there. And he's definitely running a higher line on the racetrack. Up in the outside groove, starting to put the pressure. Right there is where you lose it, just off of that flat turn. In fact, he told me that the fourth turn there felt like it was almost off camber.
Sliding and spinning, Wayne Jacks climbs the tires and goes over in turn 1.
Comes to rest on his side.
Glenn, there were 3 wide battling down the front straightaway, and Jack's car got tipped sideways. When he got the truck straightened out, it headed right for the pile of tires that line the inside of the quarter-mile track here. It climbed the tires, did a Bigfoot-style jump 30 feet in the air and came down and rolled up onto its side. When he hit Las Vegas Speedway, Imperial Palace, and Dorman Fastener's truck. I wonder if that'll get him 10 grand from the Edge radio station in Las Vegas.
If that doesn't, I don't know what he can do that will. When he hit that tire, that protective tire there, it acted as a catapult and shot him right up over the bigger tire on the other side of it, flipped him right over.
What a sky shot. When our cameras got to it, here's what they saw.
You see, he's already hit the tire. You see the tire there, right at the bottom of your screen. That's what he hit that catapulted him up in the air. Look how gently the thing just set right over on its side. I can't believe that it didn't
He's
roll
out.
Over.
He's climbed out of the truck. That's what that cheer is all about. There's Wayne Jacks. Looks like he might have got just a little bit scrambled in that one. But he is okay. Good thing. We're red flagged here at lap 177. We'll get back to it in a minute. it's been a wild night in Portland. Wayne Jacks just got more air than Michael Jordan on the way to the hoop. Look at these tires along here. Now, you can see the white circles where they paint them in place. That's where that tire was that's now out there. And you see there's about 2 or 3 more missing. They slid along to there, got stopped by the big one, and it looked like a little Hot Wheels truck.
Yeah, and the truck had nowhere else to go when he pushed the 2 smaller tires into the bigger one. He just went right up over them, and off he went.
That's the first truck that has rolled in Super Truck competition, we are told. And Ralph Shaheen has caught up with Wayne Jacks.
Boy, that's a tough way to try to get that 10 grand. Are you okay? What happened?
Well, coming off that corner, it looked like we got 2 or 3 stacked up. Somebody nailed me in the side and sent me off towards the infield, and I hit one of those tires. Man, I hate to see tires like that scattered around a racetrack. You know, the Edge, that KEDG radio 103.5 in Las Vegas, you know, we're trying to do something for them here, give them some good advertising for their local station. But it's not a good way to do it. I said, that's a lot more than $10,000 damage to the poor old truck. But we was running pretty good, and we had a flat early on and had to go into the pits. And they marked us a lap down, but we never got a lap down. And we've just been having to fight people the whole race, slower trucks. We've been trying to work our way up, but we just couldn't quite get through the traffic.
Mike, I'll tell you what, if he doesn't get that 10 grand, I think he needs to change radio stations.
Yeah, if he doesn't win that contest, I want to know why. Here's the liquid wrench slickest move of the race. We're going to show you in a minute. As voted by our TNN panel. Brought to you by Liquid Wrench. Our vote, lap 93, Jeff Bodine gets underneath the battling Sammy Swindell and Rick Corelli. Slides his way up to 7th place in that battle. Pretty slick move.
That was. It was just like he sprayed liquid wrench on the side of that 38 truck, went right by him.
Wouldn't do that. It's not where you spray it. Spray a little here.
Yeah, he needs more than liquid wrench. He needs some big wrenches.
I think the edge has gotten pretty dull on that truck.
Yeah.
Tough break for Wayne Jacks. Well, you hate to see it when a fellow that's trying to make it, looking for a major sponsor, and trying to do the very best he can with what he has. Wayne had a good race going, was out of trouble, and now they got a long haul back to Vegas with a very bent truck.
Yeah, and he was running a good race. He was very competitive. He did have a little problem there, got him behind. We're going to have the restart here and 1 to go as you're looking at the top 10.
22 laps to go. What do you think? Can Skinner hold him off?
I think Mike's going to hold him off. I just don't think they have enough to get by him. And plus, with Skinner on the point, and whenever they do the double file restarts, when they come up there, it gives him that jump. He gets a 4, 5, 6 truck length advantage every time on a restart. And then Ruttman and Butch Miller have to make it up under green, and it's hard to do. I mean, Ruttman is going to be concerned with holding off Miller. Miller's got to get by Ruttman before he can even challenge Skinner. I just don't think they're going to get to Mike. I think the truck's too strong tonight. He has done a terrific job, as his crew chief, Rich Burgess, said, of taking care of the tires, and I think it's going to pay off for him here at the end of the race.
They have some power in that number 3 truck. They have had all season. They had seemingly had a good bit more motor than the field at Phoenix. And always, that truck is quick off the corner and is quick on restart. You'll see right here. Going to be a tough task for Joe Ruttman to see if he can stay with Mike Skinner, because that may be the tail of this race. This restart right here. 21 laps to go.
Mike didn't get quite as big a jump that time. He turned the truck a little sideways there as he went out of second gear. Ruttman was able to stay within a truck length of him, so this might be the telling tale right here.
And Butch Miller has to work his way past Steve Portengay. Can't clear Portengay by turn 3. That'll be tough on Miller and Toby Butler.
Portengay has got to get out of the throttle. They've got to give him a big-time passing flag here. I mean, there's no reason for him to be holding up that traffic like that. He's 14 laps behind.
Yeah, if he was a lap down, fine, race with him. Oh, Miller almost lost it. What a save. It was a Stanley Cup kind of save right there for Butch Miller.
Sure was.
Brought Twosome off the corner, and Ruttman is but 2 car lengths back.
You see Toby Butler is still running fourth. That little slide by Butch there let Toby move right up onto his rear bumper. Butch pulls him off the corner. Again, that's where Butch is the strongest, when they come up right off the corner. His truck's really hooked up. You can see watch Toby pull up on him going into the corner. Butch pulls him about 4 or 5 truck lengths coming off. Good run by both of these guys. Toby Butler's best effort so far of the year. and he expects to do even better next week as they go to Evergreen Speedway. That's his home track.
Former Northwest Tour champ. Did it on tracks like Evergreen and here at Portland.
As you said, 5 wins here at Portland. He's had a lot of wins at his home track at Evergreen. So, you know, if he were going to make a strong showing, it was going to be this week and next.
Mike Bliss out ahead of Jack Sprague there as we look a little further back. And Ron Hornaday. Finally, Butch Miller clears to the inside of Fortgate.
Bliss has moved up into 5th now, I guess.
This is his home racetrack, so that should be no surprise.
But hometown experience coming into play here at the end of the race.
Good run for Jim Smith's Ultra Wheels team. Putting Mike Bliss up into the top 5. Up front, the gap remains the same. We'll stay right here. There is Ron Hornaday and number 16, Pancho Carter, down to the inside. Hornaday trying to put something together to move up on Jack Sprague. There's Jeff Bodine in the picture. He is on the lead lap. Bob Keselowski in the Dodge right between them.
Keselowski and Pancho Carter both are lap trucks, and you see Keselowski move down and let Bodine. That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. You hit the nail right on the head, Mike. No point in holding those guys up. At some future race, the other guy, the shoe may be on the other foot, and the guy will return the favor to you.
14 to go. Mike Skinner looking for win number 2 and a chance to erase some of Ron Hornaday's point lead. Skinner came in here 4th in the points with 1 victory, 3 top 5 finishes in the 4 starts so far.
The only thing that's held Mike Skinner down has been he finished 27th at Tucson. He had an engine problem. He was up front when that happened. Other than that, he has been one of the 2 or 3 most dominant trucks.
And you see now Jack Sprague has been caught by Ron Hornaday. His truck seems to get quicker in the late going. Hornaday with 2 wins out of the 4 races. Battle for 6th place.
I believe Hornaday's going to take it. Jack's been fading just a little bit the last few laps. He lost the position to Mike Bliss. He's fallen back away from Bliss. Truck really bouncing around there, getting in the corner. That's going into turn 1, where they say is one of the roughest parts on the racetrack.
Little contact.
Just a little nudge there. Oh, and he runs
in the grass, and there they go. To the Blackberries.
He ran Ron right down on the grass. There was nowhere else to go. Tried to close the door on him, but Ron was already up too far on him.
Caution waves. Are the trucks still on the racetrack, or are they in the pucker bushes?
I think they just went off on the edge of the grass before you get to the bush. That's an expensive battle, or expensive thing to happen to both of them, because they had 5th and 6th nailed down.
Here comes Sprague. No Blackberry juice on his truck.
Hornaday right behind him.
Caution is out with 10 laps to go. We'll take the opportunity to take a quick break here from Portland Speedway. We'll be right back.
PCs.
Here's what happened to bring out this caution flag with 10 to go. Hornaday and 16 on the inside, coming down into the corner, turn 3.
You see Ron make the move. Already up beside of him. Jack is trying to move down on the racetrack to protect his position. I don't think it's anybody's fault. I think it's just racing. I mean, Hornaday had a right to be on, to make the move, and Jack thought he could close him off. Look at Jack stop right before he hit the bushes there.
Jack did not leave Hornaday much pavement on the inside.
No, and it got Ron's left front tire down on the grass. You could see the truck. Yep. It upset the truck. Got him to spinning a little bit. Ron was trying to turn it away. He actually broke loose before he ever made contact with the 31 truck Sprague.
With the suspension upset, when the truck bounced back up onto the racetrack, it bounced into Sprague. Racing incident, but not a lot of room down there. Looking for the low groove. See if we get the restart this time by. There are just 8 laps to go. I believe they both stayed. Did they both stay on the lead lap? Sprague and Hornaday did. Scoring is telling us. So they'll move up in a single file restart. Because we have less than 10 laps to go. 1 to go. They are showing to line them up single file. And here's how it'll sort out. Mike Skinner, the leader. Joe Ruttman in second. Butch Miller in third. Toby Butler in fourth.
Somebody needs to tell the drivers it's single file. That is not single file, folks. We know that.
Well,
that's 3 deep.
I believe they're trying to get the lead lap trucks up ahead of the rest of the field. Now, when they come out of turn 2, they should be settled down in single file order for this restart. That's why the pace truck's going extra slow to give everybody time to get in line, and they are doing that now, almost everybody. So we're about set to go.
To a man.
Still 10 trucks on the lead lap, and there will be 6 laps to go. We will go green this time. Mike Skinner needs one more good, strong restart to save his race. Drops the speed down in turn 4. Here he comes. And he got run by a car length as they come out.
Truck link?
Yeah. Mike Bliss up to the outside of Toby Porter, thinks better of it, drops back in line.
Yeah, Butler's truck pushed out just a little bit in the corner as he came off. He was able to turn it down. Bliss had been catching him. Catching the guy here, passing him is 2 different things entirely. I think there's only, 4 laps to go when they come by this time? Yeah, that's lap 196. So it's going to be tough for anybody to make a clean pass right now. I just don't think there's enough time. But believe me, folks, they're going to try.
I don't think anybody's worried about a clean pass. They're worried about a pass. Butch Miller pulls down on the second place truck of Joe Ruttman right behind Mike Skinner, who has led every lap. The battle here is going to be for second. Ruttman has to abandon his pursuit of the leader. He's got to worry about Butch Miller, and Ruttman is loose coming into the corner.
Well, he did get loose right there, but he was able to gain some ground on Butch. But again, Butch closes the distance up as he comes off the corner. That's what you got to do. I just don't know if he's got enough time, but Butch's going to drive his heart out trying to make that pass.
Rick Corelli loses a spot to Bill Sedgwick as his truck pushes up the track in turn 2. Here they come with 2 laps to go. Mike Bliss is right on Toby Porter. This is the race for 4th.
Well, Butler's been able to hold him off so far, but I tell you, look at the Butch get sideways there trying to put the pressure on Ruttman. Great battle for 2nd, 3rd, and for 4th and 5th there.
1 to go. Mike Skinner all by himself. Look at the 2 battles on your screen. And it's 2 to go is what the scoreboard says. So off the corner, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th were corrected on the lap count. White flag this time by...
Boy, Butch looked like he wanted to make a move on him right there.
And it's all closing down. Could be 4 trucks under a blanket. White flag for Mike Skinner.
Looks like Skinner's going to pretty much go home unmolested. As I said, nobody's made a move on him all night. Butch Miller's got 2 last shots at Joe Ruttman off, and there you see Bliss trying to put the move on Toby Butler.
Looking high on the outside, back straightaway, final time.
Butch is trying him on the outside, Mike.
Butch Miller goes to work, feints high, looks low, comes up high again. It'll be single file, no change of position. Skinner wins it. Ruttman is 2nd. Toby Butler is 3rd. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Portland Speedway. Mike Skinner is the winner of the Maxx 200. Congratulations. Boy, this truck was a rocket all night. How come it was so strong?
Because I got the best crew out here, I'll tell you. These guys worked real hard. And, you know, Will and I, we really concentrated, and Richie and Jesse and all the guys. We didn't put new tires on. We've seen a lot of guys putting new tires on a couple of times. And we ran all our practice on the same tires. And we made sure the truck was fast on old tires. And the thing was really, really super good. But I want to thank GM Goodwrench Service, Snap-on Tools, AC Spark Plugs, Resist All Hats, Maxx Race Cards, and everybody else. Thank you much.
Mike Skinner wins it. Joe Ruttman comes home 2nd. Butch Miller is 3rd. Toby Butler 4th. And Mike Bliss 5th. There's the rest of the top 10. Next Saturday, live doubleheader on TNN. Busch Racing from Loudon, New Hampshire. Buddy and I will be there. Glenn will be at Monroe, Washington with the SuperTruck. So join us next Saturday for lots more live NASCAR action here on TNN. For Ralph Shaheen and